this is amazing. Oh, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Water.
For the first time here for season 3. Davis on pole, Vanderkran in second. It's going to be sprint round action here tonight. Let's go racing here at Daytona. It was a good start there from Davis in comparison to Vanderkran in behind. Cowan's absolutely bogged it up and already dropped out of the top 3 here as they come down towards turn 1 for the first time. There's biffing and barging between Gallen and Cowan. These guys are still going at it after last season. They survived for this time by though. Through turn 2 and 3 they come. Nice and clean, boys. Keep it up as they come up to...
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride.
ride with Shannons.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Through turn 1, it was a horrible start from De Bono, who's absolutely bogged it up and gets eaten alive by Dixon and Gowans as they come on through. Through turn 1 they come, and they all spread out around in towards the first sector of the Silverstone circuit. They look all right at the moment. Okay, there's already been a car spun round. That's Jordan Ferguson offline.
Is green at Road Atlanta here as well. Faulkner did get away. De Bono is tucked in as well. Unfortunately, Houghton is on that outside line. De Bono does want to tell him to do. He's got the job. De Bono's overtaken. Now can he get Ben Faulkner up through turns for 2 and 3? They go round the right-hander, dropping down the hill. Faulkner's out in front. De Bono second. Houghton third. Ratcliffe in fourth. No real dramas going into turn 1.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be.
Shannon's.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. Oh, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanner and Jamie Dyson just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't implemented it, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's see if we get a good run. Dodds just absolutely think about it. It's a really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SRW TV, and welcome in to the MOZA Racing Super Formula Lights Championship here for round 9 of Season 2 out at Phillip Island Circuit here this evening. I'm your commentator Hamish Munro, joined for the first time in a long time by Andrew Cowan. Cowie, we separated a little over a year ago now for you to go get some expertise and some experience in these cars, and then we rejoin for the end of the series, for the end of my run in SRW, to almost, put a light, honestly, on the Super Formula cars, get a bit more input from you now that you've had a couple of seasons under your belt, but also call the final round of the season too, where a lot of the championships have already been decided, but the Australian Open Wheel Nationals positions are still open, and there is still a mathematical chance that the Pro-Am Championship could go the other way here this evening as well. But Cowie, first of all, great to have you back in the booth, and second of all, let's get ready for some cracking racing here tonight at Phillip Island.
Thanks, Hamish. Though I will say you stole my opportunity way to drive these cars at this great track.
Oh.
It is quite a fun track in the Super Formula Light. I mean, those big sweeping corners make it so much fun in this car. And, for me, it's one of the places that's got lots of runoffs. So when someone bins it in front of me, they might actually slide off the track instead of being in a corner. It's been fun driving these things, man, and very much an eye-opening experience, because the technique is so much different.
Yeah, I think it's comparatively, and I've spoken about it quite a fair bit, comparatively to the old Formula 3 car, they are almost night and day in their differences. Of course, these cars have got a fair bit more aero available to them. And they managed to bring the whole field a bit closer together. They're able to lift up the average drivers a bit more, and it kind of brings back the pro drivers a bit more. It's easier to get up to speed, but harder to find those little amounts of pace for you to kind of get to the next level. And then I think, with what we were talking about pre-show, it's, these cars are so easy to get involved in an incident, just because, if you're in the tow, you can gain so much more pace than other cars like the supercar or the 8.6, and it's then much harder to pull it up, and you've almost got to try and change your driving style to approach this car of, braking a bit earlier so you're not actually running in as deep into the corners, trying to keep it nice and clean and steering the car with your feet almost. It's it's a difficult car to get up to pace with. I think the differences between this and obviously its big brother, the SF23, the Super Formula car, this car doesn't have the push to pass. It has a little bit less aero on it, but it's definitely a tough car. And, through the last year and a half that this car's been in the iRacing service and in the in SRW, I think it's proven to throw out some great seasons, some great racing. And I think Phillip Island tonight's going to be another case of that. Of course, we were here for the Australian Open Wheel Nationals last season, between SRW and the GSRC, and then we returned to this track this season as the final round, so we should be in for a good night of racing nonetheless.
Oh, look, I'm looking forward to a great night of racing here, Hamish. Look, these cars, coming from a V8 supercar, they're completely different the way you've got to drive them. We talk about driving with your feet, and that is very true, but that's what separates the skill level. Like, I found first jumping into these cars, you've got to brake in a straight line, get off the brake when you turn, you try and carry any brake. When you're turning the car, it just wants to rotate on you. You push too hard, carry too much speed, it wants to rotate on you. So it's all about controlling the rear. But once you get the handle of that straight braking and getting off it, you can get the car turned in. The difference is the pros, they're the ones that are keeping that little bit of trail braking on, and they're using, as you said before, the feet to steer the car. That's the difference. And when you have, I suppose, the disparity of that coming into a corner, that's what can create the incident. Suddenly you're braking 3 meters earlier than the guy behind you thought you were. And it creates exciting racing, and even the pros can get it wrong sometimes.
They can indeed. It's been proven time and time again that can happen. We'll have a quick look at the overall standings coming into tonight's race, which I've now got to resize apparently, so we'll get that sorted. Coming into this race, of course, Marcus Watson secured the championship last week I'm trying to think where last week was now. I have to double check. Last week out at Sandown. It was Sandown last week. 181 points is the difference between himself and Nicholas Martin. Great to see Nick Martin up the order, actually. It's good to see he's found some pace this season. Yeah, 181 points the difference, so Marcus cannot lose the championship tonight in terms of overall standings or the pro standings as well. Jamie Davis, who sits P3 in the standings, currently sits 86 points adrift of Jason Depp, second in Pro-Am class as well. So that is the only class that mathematically can change here this evening in terms of who actually leads the championship. So we'll have to figure out and do some quick maths throughout the night to see if it can happen as well. And I think, you know, being a 1 hour race, it's, you know, it's 4 points per position, so roughly 22 positions is what Depp would need to beat Davis by to win that title, which would be a very tough ask. But Phillip Island can be chaotic, anything can happen. Cam Hardwick also secured the AM Championship last week as well, so he comes into this race tonight in 13th position, a solid effort, a solid position, and again is the AM champion. Will be promoted to Pro-Am next season, so it's not going to be as tough a night for Cam tonight, but I think, you know, that championship battle between Davis and Depp is what's going to be the main focus here. The other thing that's on the line as well is the Australian F1 Nationals cut-off too. Currently Kevin Wakefield is P20 in the championship. He is 9 points adrift of Matt Fu from Apex Esports League, and then a further 17 points back is Matt Fu's teammate Mitch Noble in P22. Sam Katakazinos is within the fight, so is Andrew Proctor, so is Zach Barton, and so is Nathan Verney. And then obviously yourself, Cowie. Well, you were in the bubble, but you were a bit too far away, so I think regardless of racing tonight or not, you may not have been able to make it in anyway, so I think it's every name above yours is on the bubble. Yeah, so a bit harder for Verney to get in or for Barton. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a week off when I did not have a couple of good weeks of racing, and you know, at times when you're thick in the field here and you've got cars all around you, as I said, you know, those slight little differences in skill level, they seem to be magnified in these cars. You know, we were talking before, you know, if someone breaks 2 or 3 meters earlier, that could mean a 20 kilometer difference in the corner.
It can,
right?
It can, yeah.
And that's what can create situations. Unfortunately, the tracks that I've had some bit of pace at, been in the mix, I've got caught up in incidents, some my fault, some not. I mean, you know, these things happen, but when you're so close and racing so hard, it can happen. We've seen it time and time again. But, yeah, so I took a week off for that, so I took myself out of the championship, or out of the special event, but these things happen. Cam, I think he had the M thing sewed up by round 4, I thought. he had a great season.
I think Marcus Watson may have had the pro title wrapped up by round 1, possibly. As soon as he joined the grid, I think a lot of people may have thought that the defending Australian F1 Nationals champion may have already had things sewn up by the first time he was on circuit. So they're the drivers that need to be kept an eye on. Pretty much Tyler Sheaf, Dean Sinkovich, they're within the realm of dropping out of the bubble. It's more or less Matt Tessariero and Kevin Wakefield that have got massive pressure. It is good, though, to see Mr. Wakefield with solid pace this season at the moment. I mean, he seems to have found his footing a little bit here as drivers have started their qualifying sessions. 5 minutes into the session at the moment, Marcus Watson sits provisional pole with a 120.924. So yes, I think for Kevin, this has been a solid season for him. If he doesn't make the AOWN, I think he can still hold his head high for having such good pace thus far this season as well. So hopefully it's going to continue on forward and continue on track for him. Cowie, I'm just going to quickly disconnect my camera from Discord, then I'm going to send you a video ninja link that you can watch it from, because apparently it's not liking me at the moment.
Yeah, I saw it was stuttering there a bit earlier that I told you about, but yeah, look, I'm telling you now, I mean, the whole field is picked up in pace. Like, you know, when I started driving these, I was 3 seconds off the pace, The last, most of the rounds of this season, I've been sort of, in the 20th something position and been 1.4 seconds off the lead, 1.2 in some of them, and I'm still only qualifying 22nd. Like, again, we talk about these tight margins. You look at it now, even now, P15 Matty Gerard is only a second off the pace. And this is what I'm saying. Once these guys start to dial in quality laps here, we will see all 30-something cars separated by less than 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think, they're going to be, trying to push on, trying to keep themselves in check as best they can as well. I've just put that link into the series info for broadcast as well. Let me just try and fix this, because apparently it's not liking me at the moment. So we'll see if this will change anything. If I can try and fix some of this stuttering that we're getting. I do apologise for the stuttering. It appears some things don't change, Kelly. I can go away from the SFLs, but as soon as I come back at this particular circuit, they don't like to play ball with me. So it's nice that they want to still test me from time to time. So it's good that they're going to be nice like that. So we'll
the bright sunny day, the cars are popping, all those liveries. We did try to make it difficult for you with the some custom liveries. There's some great paint shops out there. You saw I finally got a paint for the Super Light 2 this season, which was great. But yeah, look, I really enjoyed my time driving with these boys. I mean, there's incidents, we have moments. We put in tickets, we argue with race control, get ourselves in trouble. But this is one of the this is the series that has had the same 25, 30 people, racing in it for 3 years now. So, you get to know these names and get to see their improvement over the seasons. And, I mean, the gap just seems to be closing and closing between the back and the front of the field. In quali, it's been really close all season.
Yeah, I think, it's good to see more and more drivers getting better suited to this car in particular. I mean, it's still a relatively tough car to drive, but I think it's one that it can definitely give you, it's very rewarding if you can keep yourself in check and then keep everything sorted for yourself. Just as I quickly adjust some of my iRacing settings. If you can keep yourself in check and keep yourself clean, I think keeping yourself clean is probably the most important part. You will then reap the benefits of it throughout the races or throughout the season as well. It's probably one of the hardest cars to keep yourself clean in, because it can be pure chaos in this car, and it can be pure chaos in trying to keep your races as clean as possible. We've seen titles won and lost through keeping yourself nice and tidy, keeping yourself clean, and keeping yourself out of trouble. I mean, last season was decided on probably 2 or 3 races.
We've seen the leader be 15 seconds in front and make a spin mistake and end up finishing 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
In races. I mean, that's the thing about this car. Like, as I said, that skill level, driving with your feet. As soon as you're trying to use the brakes to steer the car, that's where you're getting it on the limit. And when it's on that limit, it's a tiny little invented decimal mistake that'll do it. And I think with these cars compared to the V8 supercar or the 86s or even sort of your GT3s, it's just all happening that little bit deeper, that little bit closer in every corner. And you put 30 of them on the track together, and until the race starts to thin out and spread out, we will always have moments, and I suppose that's what makes it exciting to both race it and watch it.
Yeah, we've got a couple of chats out there already as well from Andrew Rushworth and Steph Piccoli, so great to have you guys watching along with us for the final round of the MOZA Racing SFL Championship here this season. We've got just about 4 minutes left here in qualifying. Because it is an hour-long race, drivers will have until 15 minutes to begin a qualifying lap. As long as they've begun it before the end of the 15 minutes, they can then finish their lap. So we might see some late darts to try and get further up the field. Danny Davidson seems to be already providing some good pace in challenging Marcus Watson at the moment, but we know how consistent Watson can be. Davison on his best day is one of the best drivers in the field as well, but there is that X factor of Marcus knowing the kind of pace that he can provide and the fact that he is so neat and tidy as well. Josh Houghton, he's in a very similar boat of Davison. They're very similar pace, very similar skill level, but again, can they match up to Watson here tonight as well? So this is going to be a great test for them. At the moment, for the Pro-Ams, Jason Depp is showing fantastic pace, sitting P4 at the moment. His championship rival, Jamie Davis, is currently P9, but Jason needs him to drop well down the order if he hopes to challenge for this title as well. So that'll be the real test for them here tonight. The Ams, I mean, they're a bit further back in the field. Hardwick, amongst the top 18 cars, I mean, he has appeared to have been ultra dominant this season. So, maybe
times, Hamish. Look at the times.
I mean, they're just as tight as ever.
28th is 1.5 off the lead. Like, this is silly. We're talking silly dives.
They're all, the intervals are all orange at the moment. I mean, they are all orange. For whatever reason, on the SFL overlay style here in SDK, if it's above half a second, it doesn't show yellow anymore. It just shows white. So when they're all orange, it means we are within half a second of every single car on the grid at the moment. That is how close these times have gotten. Which, in saying that, great to see guys who've kind of been back grid merchants the last few seasons. Brad Anderson, Kevin Wakefield, Andrew Martin, Andrew Proctor even. It is good to see them closely fighting together and gaining some good pace. It's really, really good to see. I've only been away for a season, but I think, Howie, the field's gotten even closer in that 8 rounds that I've been away for. And as it decides it's going to not work for me, so we'll reload
I can tell you from experience that that's exactly what it is like. I've been out there in these qualifying sessions knowing that if I find a 10th, it's 3 positions. Right? So, you find, if suddenly you unlock something and find 2 or 3 10s, then instead of you being in 20-something position, you're running up near the top 10. It's crazy. But it's great to watch, and it's great to be a part of it too. But I think what we're seeing with these guys, for the most of the guys in the field here, this car is a big focus for them, and that shows. But even then, I'm enjoying my time sort of crossing disciplines because it probably helps my pace in the V8s as well.
So
because again, you can play around with things.
No, that's right. You can try different car types, try different driving styles as well. One thing I've noticed, especially throughout not only this past iRacing season, but in seasons prior as well, but it really showed to me this season, and I kind of picked up on it then when a couple of other car types are racing in the sim. The drivers who are one make drivers, so someone who will fully focus on one car type, you think of supercars, your James Scotts, Jared Filsells, Madison Down. For SFLs, for example, here in SRW, your Marcus Watsons, Danny Davisons, in previous years, Phil Vella, stuff like that. For the Porsche Cup, for sim racing Porsche Cup fans, guys like Corey Lazarus, guys like Job Stewart, those guys are fully in for the car type that they drive. So Marcus Watson would be a driver who only drives the SFL or only drives open wheelers. Those are the ones who've got the most amount of pace because they've got the most amount of seat time in the car. And they're able to focus and fine-tune and mould their driving style around just this one car, which then helps them gain pace. Where then when you're in your boat, Cowie, where you drive the SFL, the supercar, you might dabble in a GT every now and again. You then more or less become an everyman. You more or less become a driver who can adjust your driving style to suit the car, but because you're getting seat time in other cars, it can then sometimes kind of not hold you back, but hinder your development in one car more so than the other. So for the supercar, for example, if you wanted to gain more time in that, you then have to change the percentage of seat time you get in the SFL or in a GT or something and put more into the supercar, and then the same thing for the other car types too. So I think for this series as a one make, the guys who do really well are the guys who put in the time to practice and get their their seat time and their performances up in this car compared to other drivers who may dabble in other race series as well.
Yeah, look, I mean, you've got data and all that sort of stuff as well. You know, I'm sure that the pros here are the ones that are going back, looking at their data, comparing lap times, looking where they can find, you know, half a tenth in a corner, that sort of stuff. I mean, I'm an average sim racer, buddy, so, you know, every now and again I'll have a look at data if I'm well off the pace. But, you know, I enjoy the battle. But, yeah, these cars here, I don't think I've looked at any data yet. It's just been all about seat time.
So as qualifying comes to an end, drivers are getting their final laps in here before we head into tonight's hour-long race here at Phillip Island. We've got a couple more chats out there too. David Rosanita in the chat with us as well. Welcome back, Hamish and Cowie. Thanks so much, David. Appreciate it. Pricing there, asking if this is my final race call for SRW. It is indeed. It is my last SRW broadcast as a full-time broadcaster in SRW, putting more focus into my league and my other broadcasting ventures and putting some time aside as well to spend time with my partner too. Hutto's with us as well. Excited to have us back in here. Cowie's asking if they've lined up a replacement, I assume, for Sunday and Tuesday supercars. I think there's someone in the wings they've got for Sundays. I think it's Tuesdays they're trying to fill at the moment. And then Andrew Rushworth agreeing with us, saying 100% Hamish, it's the exact reason why I stopped doing SFLs to focus on supercars, and it's worked so far. It's worked really well for Andrew, you know, this past season or so, Cowie. He has found an immense amount of pace in that Gen 3 supercar, and it's really worked to his benefit.
I think the word is focus, Hamish,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do not consider myself a focus driver, really. I'm here to have some fun. You know, and look, one thing I can say about focusing on a particular car, I mean, I drive the V8s because I love them. And in the Gen 3 car, it's a different car to the Gen 2, but, you know, I still love driving it. But you come into, you know, racing and get to a certain level, you do have to put some focus into it. I just couldn't really be bothered taking that next step, so I'm here to have some fun.
That's it.
There's a bunch of guys out on this grid that are still the same. You get natural talent and guys that are just naturally quick and are here for fun, and you get others that have got to work for every 10th and enjoy it just as much, and that's what makes sim racing so great.
That's exactly right. Starting grid for tonight's race will be as follows. Marcus Watson, Danny Davidson will make up an all-pro front row of the grid. And then in behind them, we're going Pro-Am all the way down with Josh Houghton, Jason Depp, Doug Gowans, Mitch Noble, Nick Martin, Zach Barton, Sam Catacasinas, Jamie Davis, then for the top 10, Darren Fay and Matt Tesseriero for the 6th row of the grid as well. As we move back, it's the first time we then get a full Pro-Am row of Thomas Cena and Tyler Sheaf alongside each other. Alan Dawson, Shane Ratcliffe for the 8th row of the grid. Matt Gerard, Timothy Schmalenberg will start ahead of pole sitter for the AMs and champion Cam Hardwick in P19 with Callum Rosanita alongside him for the top 20. Matt Fu, Josh King will then line up on the 11th row of the grid before our first all-AM row of Greg Johnson and Dean Sinkovich for the 12th row of the grid. As Andrew Martin, Kurt Heath, Andrew Proctor, Kevin Wakefield and Brad Anderson will line up at the back of the field. Brandon Levin not taking part in qualifying but has gridded up at the back end of the field as the lights are going up for these drivers. And the final round of the season is about to get underway. That's not what I wanted to do. This is what we wanted to do. As we get underway for the final time here in the SFLs for this season, Watson and Davison have gotten off the line incredibly well as the scramble towards turn 1 has begun. Drivers have got to be careful not trying to take too many liberties through there and up through Southern Loop as well, because any cars that are maybe 2 or 3 wide, this is already cars off in the background, Cowie. It's a mass exodus of cars into the sand trap as they all try and find their way back onto the grid. And look at the dust and the debris that's getting dragged back on. That will hinder the grip a little bit as the chaos is continuing up towards Stoner and Miller as Watson leads us through.
We've got a few guys trying to go around the outside there on cold tyres, and, you know, again, there's marbles out there from quality, and I think a few of them might have found them.
So as Watson leads us up the hill, Davison, Houghton have done well off the start. Noble, an incredible start for him in the Apex car, up 2 positions. Depp was one of those drivers that got caught up on the lap 1 incident down at Southern Loop, so he's already off the field. There's a couple of moves happening in the background as Kanakazinas was looking for a little cheeky look on the inside of Darren Fay down at MG. Couldn't quite get it done though, as Watson leads us round to start out lap 2. We've got to have a look at what happened lap 1 at Southern Loop, because it seems that well, we spoke a little bit too soon, Cowie. It seems that we may have called it before it actually happened, of the mass exodus down there. I might have to go into the blimp just to get a full look of what actually occurred into the braking zone. So there were already cars heading off track at that point, already a maximum amount. So we actually have to go back even further than what I did. So we may even go back here to when Zach Barton was led off the field. So as they came down towards Southern Loop, what sort of happened here? So, it was big contact with Depp. So it was Depp. So one of the championship contenders for the Pro-Ams made contact with Jamie Davis, his championship competitor in the Pro-Am field. So not the first time we've seen championship contenders come together, Cowie, in this series. And there's about 6 cars who were off the road there. But then it actually continues round. It continues round further.
Yeah, there's contact behind. There's contact behind as well. It may well be that they've checked up because of the incident in front. And I mean, again, speaking from experience, one of the things you have, the pros tend to run their brake bias a lot sort of further back than us amateurs in these cars. But when you've got cold tyres, any locking of the rear brakes, the car just whips around on you. And so when you see something happen in front of you, you've got to check up. It's easy to loop a car and, put 3 or 4 of them in. Look at it all going on in the background there.
So, as Marcus...
Greg Johnson call.
Yeah, he's calling it in, I think. I don't know if he's calling it another incident or not, but, I mean, there was that many cars involved. It may have to be that Race Control just puts up their hands and they say, racing incident, because there seemed to be sort of 2 or 3 incidents in one for that moment there, Cowie. It was, I think, for Depp and Davis, they were in their own incident, and there was another one a couple of cars back to, and it all kind of just came together into one. At that point of the corner, as Tyson is getting over the radio, so we should be updated fairly shortly if anyone is going to be getting a penalty for that.
Jason Depp has been black flagged.
Yeah,
so.
not too surprised there on that one. So I think now what needs to be done for Depp is come in, commit to the drive-through, hope you can fight your way forward. The championship's not over just yet. Anything can happen to Davis, especially here. Safety car can be a high likelihood as well. For instance, just like that happened on that one. But I think because it is such a wide open circuit, unless we get someone off maybe on the main straight or up at Lukey Heights, then we may not see one get called unless someone is stopped on the actual track surface.
And look, they're open wheelers, so the car brakes, if you look at them funny, similar to the old F3s, so you can easily pick up damage. Even just a bit of floor damage can cost you a second a lap around here, and you add that disparity on the track and create incidences. But as you said, there's a lot of runoff here. I don't think we've had a safety car here last time. Did they have one?
We didn't have one.
Last time?
I don't think we had one in the Open Wheel Nationals. Again, just because it's so wide and open. Also, car 255, Kurt Heath, has been given a drive-through penalty for failing to hold brakes, causing secondary contact off that incident on lap 1 too. So he's going to have to traverse through pit lane as well. As I've just seen, he's had another incident apparently. So he's now just let the leaders pass on. I'm just going to assume he's just pulled it up to let them go and not get in their way too much if that were to happen. So there are some close battles on track at this stage. Dougie Gowan's in tight contention at the moment in behind Mitch Noble. So of course, Dougie, former driver of Velocity Sim Labs, current driver of Full Throttle Racing as well, one of the admins of the SFL series, and one of the men behind the creation of the Australian Open Wheel Nationals as well. So he's a very committed open wheel driver, very committed driver to the SFL too, as he gets the toe off of Noble. Looks to get this done down towards turn 1 down here at Doohan. So if he can get this done, it'll be a solid move. Noble tucks him back behind him. And now they push on to continue their battle up towards Southern Loop and into Stoner and Miller as well, Cowie. So a good move there from Gowans. Not over just yet for Noble. He is tucked in behind the toe, and he may be able to get it back off him next time they come down the straight.
Things about that toe going down the main straight there is I've seen get in the toe, get in front of the car, and then he gets in behind you and then gets the toe again and gets you back again. So it was pretty well done there. Got to the inside, covered it, and braked nice and deep into the Southern Loop, and Mitch had no chance. But the toe is quite significant in these cars at times. But what will happen is when you get within metres of the car in front, it just magnifies and suddenly you've got a slingshot. Oh, who's that running wide there?
That's Mitch
Coming
Noble.
up to Luke
Oh,
Heights.
Mitch
Oh,
Noble,
no.
big damage on board that Apex Esports League car. Could it be our first safety car of the night? It's huge, huge damage that could possibly see that happen. Let's watch this back again, because this is going to be a wild ride at the top of Lukey Heights for Noble, on board on the roll bar. So as he follows up the hill, he's got the lap traffic. Oh, his teammate got in his way at the top of the hill. The safety car has been called. And watch this impact into the tyre barrier of Noble. He ran it slightly wide and bang, straight into the wall. Car's damaged, has to tow back. And now it's a reset as Josh Houghton leads the way over Marcus Watson. But I believe Watson is he's given it back to him possibly because, well, they're trying to figure out who's the leader here thanks to the safety car being called.
Remember what I said before, Hamish, about something slightly not, you know, there was such a speed disparity there between the two cars, and you had no choice. Mitch had to make a slight split-second decision.
Well,
and the car's on an iPad.
It's either you collect your teammate or you put yourself in the barrier. There's always going to be one car's going to get destroyed, but it's whether you want to take your teammate with you. I know that for
a horrible place
I
to
know
catch a
that
teammate,
I know
though.
that some of my good friends, when we were in a team together, we just would have hit each other at that point. If they're in the way, we're just, well, you're coming with me. I'm taking you down with me at that point. So yeah, but Noble did the
Tyson's already
right
had
thing.
word. Tyson already had words to us this season about a clash, I think. Or it might have been Troy and one of the other boys, but yeah, look, that's unfortunate. But that's that speed disparity I'm talking about. Like, you know, when you're in the zone and you know, what lap are we on now? 4 or 5? 7, lap 7.
Yeah.
So that's lap 6. So you're well and truly into the zone. You've locked in, and that, you know, you're carrying a lot of speed coming into there, and looking to trust the car. And you know, unfortunately, that his teammate was in the middle of the road. He wasn't even tight, so he didn't have anywhere to go. And
that's right. That's right.
I've seen it happen.
Split second decision. Split second decision. Laura Anderson and Jace Douglas have joined us in the chat too. So great to have you both joining us here tonight as well for the final round of the Super Formula Light Championship at this stage. This possibly, Kyo, this safety car, an absolute godsend for Jason Depp, because he's now on the lead lap. He is going to be right onto the back of the field, and he's only 4 positions away from his championship contender, Jamie Davis. So now it's game on between them. It's whoever can, if Depp can make it up the field, keep it clean, and if Davis gets into trouble, it's not over just yet. For Depp, if Davis ends up in P29, the best position he needs is P7. So Jason Depp's going to have to drive like an absolute madman in this race to get that car inside the top 10 if he has any hope of winning the championship. And in fact, it needs to be the top 7. I mean, Giuliano Sinise, he won the title last season through an incredible comeback after an incident at Suzuka, running up through safety cars, getting his way to where he needed to be in the field. It could happen for Depp tonight in the Pro-Ams. It's going to be a tough night on the road for him to do it, but with, 50-odd minutes left, probably when we go green, maybe 43-odd minutes left, Cowie, plenty of time for him to do it.
The big ask, and I mean, again, you don't hope that your championship rival has a moment, but maybe, in the deepest, darkest corners of your mind, you certainly wouldn't mind it when you've got to make up that amount of points. If you noticed there before, also Watson and Horton are swapping positions, so there was something that happened maybe after the safety car was called, and Horton's back in front.
Yeah, I think they determined that he was ahead by the time the safety car was called, because they were battling for position, and then obviously the safety car has been called, so I don't think they knew who was ahead at the point of it being called, so race control very likely sorted that out for them as well. A couple of cars into pit lane. Andrew Proctor, Kurt Heath have both entered pit lane as well, so they're now going to be moving a bit further back in the field for Andrew Heath. He's still going to be at the back of the field anyway. But now the fuel strategy's changed up for them. They might be able to push their way forward and get a couple of positions out of it.
Well, 21 litres is the max tank by the looks of that up. Generally, I think that your lap burn's going to be anything from sort of actually sure here, but I wouldn't think it'd be much more than 1.1 or 1.2. So, what are our lap times? I can't look at the latest ones because it's saying 2.5 minutes.
Let's have
They're doing what, 1 minute?
So their best times are roughly the front four have all done 20s. Then there's a couple of drivers who are in the 21s, and then for the majority of the field, it's probably 22s that is the average lap time. So maybe a 1:21.7 is the average across the whole field. So,
so we're talking this. Without the safety car, we were probably looking at what a 40-lap race or thereabouts.
Yeah.
So I don't know if those stops there for fuel are going to, I don't think I can get home from here. But as look, one of the things that comes down to track position is king. Even here at Phillip Island, it can be hard to pass. So track position is king. But if you're at the back and you can do an offset and maybe throw a different strategy out, there's another safety car later on. It plays you right back into the game. It also means that your second stop's going to be a lot shorter than some of the other guys. You might be able to make it up there. So some interesting calls. We'll see how it plays out. Sometimes it can be good to just get yourself out, from your rival, and maybe, as you said, you're going to make up a heap of points. An alternate strategy might be the way to do that.
Yeah, alternate strategies can often play off for you. I think sometimes the old adage is if a safety car is called, you always pit because it's a free pit stop. Could pay off for those drivers. We've seen it pay off for some drivers before. I think if you can maintain pace through the pit stop and not get caught up in traffic and not get caught up in an incident, then that can always pay to your benefit as well. So, we'll see if it pays off for them here tonight, but we know that Houghton, Watson, Davison and Gowans have all got top-level pace. They've all done 1 minute 20s. Safety car has come into pit lane. I think I reckon he goes right on the pit entry. I reckon he puts the boot in right on the pit entry, looks to power it through the last corner and get the pace down the straight as well.
I think he wanted to go back there, but race control hadn't called the safety car in the pit because he was ready to go, and then he went, oh, hang on, better not.
He may hold them to the line just to hold the run of Watson if he can. So we'll see what the call is here for Josh Houghton.
This is chaos when you're like 25th.
Yeah.
This is chaos.
Yeah, pure chaos when you are further back in the field. He's gone green just before the line, roughly at the sort of 7th or 8th row of the field, and Houghton leads us away down through turn 1 at Gardner Corner. Southern Loop on offer next. Here comes Watson on the inside, takes the lead of the race. Up at Southern Loop, Davison will be hungry to look for a move as well. But as Watson now leads, Houghton tucked in behind the Kiwi. He'll be hoping to go with him once again. It appears, I think, only Darren Fahey has made a mistake. Here comes Houghton, though, inside at Miller. Looks to take back the lead up towards Siberia, but Watson's still right there. Side by side through turn 7, and Houghton goes wide. Couldn't hold it up. Into the sand trap. Somehow drifts it out the way of the barrier. A good save there from Houghton, but he's licking his wounds right now.
Hey, looking at that, the boys were really respectful. They're giving each other plenty of room. So, again, you do a few laps behind the safety car, a bit of temperature out of the tyres. You've got to give it a lap to get back into it again. So, marbles out there on the edge. It did look like they were giving each other plenty of space. And unfortunately, Horton just running it a bit too wide. He's got some work to do now, but we love seeing the quick guys in the middle of the pack too, because that creates that great excitement.
That's exactly right. Davison now side by side with Watson down towards doing corner as well. So the battle for the race lead is not over just yet. Watson gives it back up to the lead. Watch Davison to cover the inside line straight away. Of course he does at Southern Loop. He's not going to give it up as easy as Houghton did on this time. As they continue round towards Stoner and Miller, he could try and go for a move down the inside for Watson here. Gowans is hanging back like the little silent assassin that he is, so he may try and take advantage of this if these guys tangle up ahead of him. Nick Martin having a bit of a blinking session with Sam Katakazinis going up the inside of him at this stage.
And a car off in the grass. And that was...
Zach Barton has been into the grass, and I think that was just after Josh Houghton rejoined the circuit.
Yeah, one of the car ran wide coming out of Great Southern Loop. I didn't see the car number there, but he's right at the back of the field now, so...
I think it was Shane Ratcliffe, possibly. We got a couple more chats out there too. Ran it in the chat. It might be biased, but I definitely agree with him being the best commentator. Andrew Rushworth and saying, of course you're allowed to be biased. I don't think any drivers or viewers will say anyone is better. Just so you know, Andrew, Rhiannon is my partner, so she's the one who is probably the most biased out of anyone.
Got some great battles going on for P17, P18 at the moment. There's like 6-7 cars battling.
Look at them all, just so tight, like a pack of sardines together. We've got Matt Tessariero under pressure here from Levin and the former teammate 11 Davis as they look to go 3 wide.
4 wide, we got teammates.
oh my God.
Great racing.
Fantastic
they are having
racing.
Fun out there, the boys. Yeah, they're having fun. And as I said, Matt Tessariero, I think I watched him go up 3, back 2, then back up 1 in the space of half a lap. It's good fun. Was that Jace saying I should commentate and drive?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I do that. I do that in the V8 supercar. I don't know if I can commentate.
Big step from Tessariero and contact with Gerard. Both cars are spun round. He was hesitant to go for the move behind. I think it might have been, was it Jamie Davis he made contact with? It was either Davis or Levin.
It was just a lock-up as a slide. He just locked up and had nowhere to go, and he actually hit 2 cars.
Yeah.
And,
a tough night for Matt Tessariero.
Sinner and a Sinker. Oh, no, more contact. That's Sinner. Have a look at PLO. Oh, my God.
Oh, Thomas Cena and Dean Sinkovic are off the road. So is Cam Hardwick, the AM champion this season. It is absolutely blowing up here for the final round of the championship. I suppose when you got no championship on the line, it then just turns to pure chaos here, Cowie. I mean, that's I see, Andrew, no worries. I suppose then that's why, you know, when you haven't got a title to battle for, it's more or less than you're out there to have fun, and drivers are going to be willing to have a send. Where when you're in the position of drivers who are battling for the AOWM positions, which for Kevin Wakefield in P20 of the championship, P11 on the road, more than well enough to lock him into a position if he can stay here.
Look, as you said, there might be a couple of people thinking about that, but most of these boys are actually still racing. I mean, you know, you don't really have time for those thoughts when you're racing close.
No.
7 cars around you.
No.
But as we saw before, like there's just you know, I mean, it's all it takes is the slightest error, and you know, basically, the mid pack, everyone's driving in each other's pockets, really. so you're that close.
So it was actually Tessariero into the back of one of the Apex cars. It might have been. Was that? I'm trying to see who it was. Was it Matt Fu? It might have been Matt Fu. He was into the back of there. And then, whilst that was all happening, we then had Thomas Cena in a bit of an incident with Mitch Noble and Dean Sinkovic down at turn 11. So obviously, this is a very difficult corner. So you see the contacts made between the former teammates after afterwards there between, I think it was Tom Cena and Cam Hardwick. So it's all breaking loose here at this point. Drive-through penalty for Matt Tessariero. Not too surprised by that choice there, Cowie, based on the fact that he drilled 2 cars into Southern Loop.
What could Dean Sinker do in that moment?
Like, nothing really. There wasn't much he could do.
Of these cars.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, you know, talking with Dean before tonight, he felt like he had some good pace here and was looking forward to racing. And look, sometimes it can get really, really frustrating because, you know, especially when you think you've got some good pace and you're driving well, you've put the practice in, and then it comes down to a 160-minute race, and, you know, 20 minutes into it, your race is done. So I can, you know, there is frustration, but I just see with these cars, we do just seem to see more incidents, and it's not that these guys are deliberately driving reckless. No, it's definitely not. It's just, you know, you get it slightly wrong, and then there's a 5-10k an hour difference, and suddenly there's a car alongside you. And we saw there even the pros giving so much distance that I think, you know, Horton got himself out on the marbles.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, with Houghton's, it was he kind of just got caught up on the wrong line at the wrong time, and that can often be the case in these cars.
Yep.
You know, and then with some of those other ones, it's like, well, the driver's got nowhere to go. It's like you are collecting a car, and you got no choice. So
let's have a look at Josh Horton now, buddy, because he's making his way through. I think he's just taken Levin, and he's battling hard. Yeah, I think it was Levin and Davis. He just picked up on that lap.
And then he's got Faye up ahead of him. Must say as well, good to see Faye back in the Kittens livery too. So the Kittens have returned this season. So some things are full circle for us here, Cowie. You know, we don't have any DFR cars out there, but at least true to form, if you went back and watched, you know, round 1 of, I think it was season 2 of 2023, and then you watch this race, Kittens Racing are in both races.
Yeah, we haven't seen Phil Vella in the chat for a while. I know he was still keeping fairly, you know, keen in the Discord and see putting up posts every now and again, even though he's not sort of driving in the league. And he used to pop in here a fair bit and have a chat to us, so it's been a while. But yeah, look, race control, is that drive-through penalty for car 25?
Yes, that's Matt Tessariero. So he already copped his drive-through for the contact with Matt Gerard.
We've lost,
at that
lost
point.
Doug Gowans as well.
Gowans he's disconnected. He's gone. Yeah. Also, Jason Depp is out of the race as well here, Cowie. So that means if it doesn't even matter if Jamie Davis finishes the race. That means the Pro-Am title is sorted now. It's done. I mean, it's...
Yeah, well, he's got... If Depp's out, he's got a lap on Depp, then, you know, unless Depp can get back out there.
Depp's not even he's not in the session. He's actually disconnected from the session.
There you go.
So Depp's gone, which means the title race is over because it's 140 points back to Thomasina, which there wouldn't be enough positions on offer tonight for Depp to lose that much to Cena in this race. So it means that Jamie Davis will be crowned the Pro-Am champion at the end of tonight's race. There are still AOWN positions on offer, of course. Some of those drivers who are currently within the top ring have dropped positions.
Matt Tessariero is in there. Dean Sinkovich, he's another one. Dean got back out on the road. Because, I mean, the thing is, if any of those guys got caught up in that first lap incident, they've already used their fast repair. And I'd say that's possibly why we've lost a few drivers, because you know, you get a 20-minute repair or the car's too damaged once that fast repair is used up.
Yeah, that's it. It's over. And it can be that you've got so much damage that your spotter or your iRacing crew chief will say to you, we're done. Like we don't have enough time to fix the car for you to actually get back out on track. Particularly in these cars, if you race the officials in these cars and you have an incident, it's over because they're 20-minute races. So for Depp, it's either that he felt he was unable to continue to push on, or the car was broken enough that he actually could not fix it, and then could not finish the race as well. A bit less robust than the supercars, as we've said before, Cowie. These cars, you breathe on them wrong and they break apart. So as Davison's got a good little run under the stream of Watson ahead of him, he's unable to make the move in towards Doohan Corner. So he's going to have to tuck back in and find another opportunity to get past him at some other stage.
Have a look at Sam Katakazinas too, running in P3 at the moment, buddy. He was one of those guys that's 23rd, looking to get into the feature coming up soon, the special event for the Open Wheeler Series. So how many points does he need to make up? 25, is that 30?
So if we have a quick look,
34 points.
Yeah, 34.
Well, he needs 34
which
points.
is less than 10 spots. So it's
Tessariero, he needs 39 points on Matt Tessariero.
Yeah, he needs 8 positions. He needs 8 positions to get into the top 20 to get up to Tessariero, and he needs to beat him by how many points was it, Cowie? Did you say? Was it 39?
Well, Tessariero is 5 behind Sinkovich. Wakefield is 6 behind him. Fu is 9 behind him. Mitch Noble 17 behind him. So what's that? So that's 11, 20, 37, 45.
As Katakazinas comes in. So
That's
Katakazina's
to
in.
Tessio.
Yeah. Yeah. So
he needs a
for-
45-point change
At the
on
moment, he would be surpassing Tesseriero. He would have enough positions to surpass Tesseriero. Tyler Schieffer stayed out there in his SLM car. He now leads the way. Dawson, Davis, Watson, Levin have all stayed out as well. The top front runners have all come in to the pit lane here. So for Schieffer, he gets a little bit of time at the front of the field. And on the broadcast as well, Alan Dawson trying to chase him down at this stage. So,
Unfortunately, Mitch Noble being a couple of laps down has probably meant that his run to get into the open wheeler is done and dusted, unfortunately.
Yep.
But as you said, Matt Foo's still well in the hunt. He's running P18 at the moment. So again, like he needs, what does he need? 20 points on Tessio.
Yeah, I think so. So at the moment he is, I think Matt's actually out of the race. So that means that Matt is out of the AOWN if he's out.
Yeah, it's certainly looking like this race might have cost him.
So, and of course this race undroppable as well, so that makes it a little bit harder. So for Sheafy, if he can hold off a good position, I mean, he's got plenty of points on the board. He's pretty well locked in. It's more or less Dean, Matt, and Kevin who are the only ones who could realistically drop out. Kevin at Wakefield in P7 at the moment, who pitted on lap 6 under the safety car. Could this strategy play pay off for him here tonight? Watson and Davison have exited pit lane, still P5, P6. The guys in front of them all pitted under the safety car. This is where we're now going to see the comparison of the two strategies of going alternate to then staying on the regular strategy of if this could actually pay off for them in the end of the race. Now, pitting so early may mean that they can go to maybe 35 minutes in. They only need the one more stop to get home, and they're sitting pretty at that point as well. So it's not going to be over just yet. It's going to be a little bit more shuffling of the order. If there's a safety car in the next few minutes, well then quite possibly we could be in for something quite tasty. Car 98 under investigation, passing the safety car. I had a little bit of a heart skip then, Kerry, because my car number is actually car number 98. So I thought, then how have I gotten a penalty? I'm not driving, but no, that's going the way of... I saw who it was earlier as well.
I don't think there's actual penalty that's come up yet. It's,
no. Zach Barton, who's actually in pit lane. So it was Zach Barton. Bringing
maybe had a drop out there. Back in.
Yeah, bringing the shame, and I mean this no offense, Zach, bringing the shame to car number 98. As someone who uses that number myself, but no, that's they'll investigate that. They'll see what happens as Watson looks to get past some lap traffic here of Mitch Noble. Wasn't even
Andrew Rushworth there. Andrew Rushworth in the chat also just mentioning if that Matt stays within one spot of the bubble, you may get the call up. A couple of guys can't race it. I think last one I was third alternate, the first two got picked up. So
yeah,
it's certainly possible.
Could very well happen here. Noble trying to come back at Watson. He's been unable to at this stage. So Noble's still out there. Gowans is still out there too. Matt Gerard has just had an off track and he spun round at Southern Loop. So there are cars who are struggling down there with the debris at turn 2. He caught the curb, got it loose, and then caught the gravel, and it's just dragged him off the road like a tractor beam.
He's tried to stay in it there, I would think. And again, we talk about the tank slapper, and that's that. It's generally the second time that you do. The car will flick left, you flick it right, it'll come back, and it'll be that next one that it bites. So unfortunately, sometimes you've got to get right out of it, and that, in the wrong situation creates a situation behind you too. So tricky, these cars. We don't, until you sort of try to drive them near the limit. We said before, they're probably a bit easier to control, when you're not pushing them, but finding the limit, wow.
Oh! Wakefield and Martin off the road down at turn 1. Both cars have made contact. I was about to click across there to... Oh, no, do not cross the track, Andrew. You are going to get a penalty if you cross the track there.
Oh.
No, that's going to be a penalty for him because he's just crossed the circuit. He needed to come back on at turn 1, so that's possibly going to see him out of this, because that there is one of the worst black flags you can possibly get, plus the under 4 damage of having to go down the little bump too. It's a real shame. But we've had a moment here with Matt Gerard, and then we'll have a look at that one again, Cowie, because he's had another incident. It's up at Lukey Heights. Oh, just got a bit loose.
Yeah, look, as I said, you know, what'll happen is you're carrying a little bit too much speed in, then you realise that, so you stay on the brake a little bit longer, you turn it in, you've still got too much brake. And when we talk of poor contact there,
Yeah,
that
ran off the curb, bit of net code in that one. Nothing much more Kevin could do, or Andrew could do, and it seems that both cars now. Yeah, Andrew is not happy with that, as the safety car has been called, so we're getting the safety car out on track for the second time here tonight. We are 32 minutes into it. I reckon, Cowie, everyone needs to pit now, because with the safety car, they could possibly get it home.
Well, it looks like the leaders managed 16 laps. I don't know, because we've had a safety car already. I would not be surprised if they come in, but I think yeah, look, I didn't do the fuel numbers because I wasn't racing tonight, but looking at it here, the guys that didn't pit early, they pitted on lap 17 or lap 16. So I think maybe that fuel burns up around about 1.6 or something, I think.
If you're Dawson and you're Sheaf, you're coming in, because they could go from, the leaders went to 25 minutes with a safety car. So I reckon Dawson and Sheaf, with a little bit of fuel saving under this safety car, can get home from this point. I think it'd be a struggle for you not to do it. Yep, he's come in. Oh, that might be an unsafe entry there for Danny Davidson. He just caught the white line, but we'll see what happens.
I think you're going to see pretty much everyone come in, because again, like as I said, we've got 37 minutes to go. We do 3 laps behind the safety car. That's suddenly another 7 minutes, and then you're in the window.
I've just seen why the safety car's been called. I've just noticed a car parked on the side of the road there. It's Brad Anderson up on the main straight. Remember what I said, that if a car crashes on the main straight or at Lukey Heights, we're going to get a safety car? Well, that's exactly what's happened tonight. So this is what's happened to Brad to bring the safety car out. He ran it wide, caught the sand, put the foot into it, and bang, straight into the wall. Oh, it's a wild ride.
Coming over that 3D curb, it just spat the car.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw in the chat after Sandown last week where the crack in the road at Dandenong got me, or coming into Dandenong, and you know, so these cars react. Well, when you hit the floor, hits something like a 3D curb, they'll just react crazy.
I mean, we've seen them get beached before on a 3D curb. I remember back at Sebring. It might have been either Kev Wakefield or I can't quite remember who it was now. It was either Wakefield or it was somebody else. They actually got beached on the curb of death. So they had spun and then they got caught up on the curb of death at Sebring.
Yep. Well, we've seen that curb come back and bite the F3 SFLs, even the radicals when we were driving it there. That the curb of death is very aptly named.
So, safety cars out for the second time here tonight. We have got 25 minutes left of Season 2 of 2025. All the titles have been determined now, as long as Jamie Davis makes the finish of this race and does not cop a penalty, and he will be the Pro-Am champion.
Gowans might get back on the lead lap. They just let him through. I think Mitch Noble's down 2, Tessiera's down 2, Anderson's down 2, so they can't get back on the lead lap, but Andrew Martin and Doug Gowans may well get back on the lead lap here. We'll see how it pans out.
I think they should. They should get back onto the lead lap. I believe so.
Well, Hamish, look, this is your last broadcast for SRW, and we get within the last 24 minutes of the race, and they're all bunched up again, mate. So, you know, you wanted excitement. We've had a fair bit of carnage out there tonight.
The only way it can be perfect, Cowie, is if we get a safety car with 10 minutes to go, just to put everyone back into a nice little congested form, and we get it quick firing to the end. Now, there is the other half of me that for those who pitted under this safety car...
Was that Jamie Davis coming into the pits there?
Yes, he's just entered pit lane.
So does he think it's on the bubble and he needs a little bit more fuel?
I think so.
That's going to take him out of track position, so...
Yeah, he gives up track position, and he also has to wait for the pit entry the pit exit to open as well.
Yeah, right to the back.
So he's going to go right to the back. Now, if he thinks this is on bubble, it's a massive play, although he's got nothing to lose at this point because Jason Depp is out of the race.
Yeah.
But I think he's rolling the dice to go for a race win. He is rolling the dice to see if it happens. For me personally, Cowie, I think it's too close to the bubble for him to do this. A little bit of fuel saving under the safety car, pop it in 6th gear, just roll around behind the safety car. You got some wave rounds to do. You'd more than likely save enough to get home. I mean, you'd be right on it, but you know, a little bit
depends. If the safety car comes in this lap, man, it might leave it a lap short. I don't know. Like these safety car will be in at the end of this lap. Just heard it from the race director.
I think we've got 23 minutes to go. By the time the safety car comes in, we're going to have, 22, 21 minutes left. I think they can make it home. Now, Tim Schmalenberg hasn't pitted. He's taken the track position. If everyone needs to pit, then it's worked an absolute treat for him. If they don't, well, it's been a bit of a balls up, but that can happen sometimes in your strategy play.
Any of the spotters out there in the chat know the fuel numbers for a burn around here?
Oh, I'm sure it's within. I'm sure it's within like 1.3 liters per lap, surely. Like it wouldn't be very much. Let me
1.6. 1.6 are only getting 13 or 14 laps. If it's 1.4, you know, they're going to get what? 1.4, they'd get 15 laps. So if it's 1.3, they might get 16. But they got 16 with a couple, 2 or 3 laps of a safety car in there as well. So I'm feeling like the burn could be a bit higher, and we may still see some strategy to play out here at the end, Hamish.
We very may well, Cowie. I'm just seeing if I have had. Here we go. So I've had a previous fuel burn from Mr. Hudson from when we were last at Phillip Island, round 8 of season 1 of last year. It was 1.22 litres per lap. Race length for a stint was... race length for a race. So for 40 minutes of racing was roughly 30 minutes, 15 laps for 20 minutes, so roughly 45 laps for us. We'll see when they go green. I'll just have a look through it to see if I can kind of figure out that they were running 50% tank capacity. So if it's the same, it means it's 22.8 litres, and then you just got to do the math from that. Levin's coming to pit lane. Josh King's coming to pit lane as well. So Team SRW Motorsports trying to play a bit of a strategy game. When does the race leader, Alan Dawson, go green? It appears he's going to wait right to the line as he gets us going again for Phillip Island. 20 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock as the sun comes down here at Phillip Island, and the sun comes down on Season 2 of 2025 for the MOZA Racing SFL Championships. Dawson leads the way. Schmalenberg, Watson, Davison, Sheaf, Martin, Fu, Ratcliffe, Johnston, and Houghton are your top 10. And crucially, everyone in the top 10 barring Schmalenberg, Fu, and Ratcliffe pit under the safety car, but it's already happening down at Miller Corner here. Watson wants moves early up at Siberia, takes the race lead from Alan Dawson. Tim Schmalenberg runs it wide. Davison comes through for P2. And all of a sudden the two drivers that were at the front of the field for the majority of the piece are back at the front. Could they get to the very end here on this fuel level? Maybe a little bit of fuel saving needed, but they could quite possibly get it done.
Hard to fuel saving these cars. Really hard. Yeah, I mean, especially when you're talking a fuel use of like 1.2, you're trying to say 0.05. You know, you need to make that work. It's not as easy as it sounds. There are guys that are really good at it. Don't get me wrong, but I think, you know, the V8s, when you say 0.1, 0.2, you know, you think you're doing well. Try and say 0.1 in these cars, you'd have to go at half speed, I reckon.
So roughly for a tank, they should get 18 laps out of the tank, Cowie. So they went 17 on their first stint. So if we do
There was safety car.
18, yeah, there was no. This was before the safety car. So they went to they with that fuel of 1.22 for 22.8 liters. 18 laps would be the maximum they could get to. It would be exactly 18 laps. So if that's the case, if they're running say 121 on average, we could do the quick maths here.
Looking at it here, my data is saying that we've got about another 13, 14 laps of this race left. So then add a couple of laps, 2 or 3 laps behind the safety car. I think this car's going to be close. Whether or not it becomes a factor.
So a full tank Cowie should get them 24.3 minutes on the tank. So I think they can get home.
It's close.
Very close. It'd be very, very close. Like, it's right on the bubble, but I reckon they can get home. It's going to be super, super tight as Nick Martin looks for a move here on Alan Dawson down towards turn 1. Can he get it done up the inside? Job done for him.
Good movement in the back too with Sinner and Doug Gowans. Great little battle going on there for like
Oh my God, there's about 8 cars in this one, all being led by, I believe, Andrew Proctor with, I think the lap traffic and Mitch Noble in behind. Yeah,
he's caught up in the middle of it.
So Wakefield under pressure here from Sinner, and then Schmalenberg as well. Is there going to be a move in towards Miller corner? It's a big send! How in the hell did they somehow make it through? I don't think, though, Tim Schmalenberg did. He's off the road again, dropped some spots. Maybe a race control investigation. I'm not 100% sure, but it was a massive dive bomb down at Miller corner. As they run up towards Lukey Heights, it's still on. Your game going on the outside line up there, Senna. He doesn't want to do it in the end. He backs out of it. Car 169, drive-through penalty for passing the safety car on lap 22. That is going the way of GER, Mr. Matt Gerard. So he's had to come through pit lane for passing the safety car on lap 22.
Well, we've had movement already. All of that speculation we had on the bubble for the open wheeler nationals coming up is possibly thrown into the wazoo. Though Katakazina's sitting in P9 at the moment, so not as many points as he had before.
Also, Cam Hardwick, one of the other VSL drivers out there, has to traverse through pit lane as well, Cowie. He also passed the safety car on lap 22, so he's also going to have to traverse through pit lane. Not going to affect his championship, but will just really bring an effect into his race result. Could also mean that Dean Sinkovich could now try and get enough points to actually stay within the Australian Open Wheel Nationals position of the top 20.
Battle at the back here with Davis, Levin, Wakefield in amongst that, Schmalenberg on the tail end. Good little battle.
And Proctor's in this too. He's just in behind Mr. Levin at the moment. Bit of a lock up there from Sinner at MG. They'll keep it going though. I'm surprised actually turn 11, yes, we copped a couple of drivers in an incident, but I'm surprised it hasn't claimed more victims than it has, Cowie, because turn 11 can be quite a difficult corner to get right, especially with the modulation of the throttle and keeping the car settled and keeping it off those curbs, as Brandon Levin having to take evasive action there from Andrew Proctor. I'm not sure what happened. Actually, it was Kevin Wakefield who took the evasive action.
Behind it.
Oh my God, it is heating up here, heating up significantly. Proctor's dropped about 3 or 4 spots in the span of a couple of corners. Good to see Tessariero back out on track as well. He's back onto the lead lap as Nick Martin and Josh Houghton have had a massive bingle with Alan Dawson down at Stoner Corner. So it is still happening, Cowie, amongst this field. They are getting feisty tonight on the island. Must be something in the water.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think it's more the fact that when you put a pack of 8 or 10 of these cars, or 3 or 4 of them together, and there's a tiny little mistake that suddenly everyone's scrambling to find a bit of track that's not being occupied by someone else. And we see it there again, a little moment, a little bit of contact. and suddenly there's 5 cars behind that are, dealing with, possible brown moments.
Oh, possible brown moments for sure. Tyler Sheaf now under pressure from his former teammate at Velocity Sim Labs, Shane Ratcliffe, as they run down towards Dillon Corner at turn 1, down the Gardner Straight, on board with Sheafy. He looks to hold on to the position here as the inside line at the next corner will go to Ratcliffe. Side by side still, tucks back in behind him to Sheafy, and they continue to push on to the former teammates as they battle away. Matt Fu hot on the heels of this battle as well. He's got Sam Katakazinis on his tail, wants a move down at Stoner and down through Miller as well. There's a little bit of a touch at the front wheel. Katakazinis comes through. Does he get the position in the end? It seems he has. It was very minor, but that could have been deadly.
Into a braking zone too, a little bit of contact like that can so unsettle the car, so very lucky for both of them to walk away from that one and continue the battle on. But this has been an awesome battle tonight. I can't say that I missed the commentary because I've been loving driving, but these are some of the moments that you love to remember and talk about. And in a way, I'm probably glad I'm not in there because I probably would be sitting in pit lane, knowing me.
Well, maybe on those moments, Cowie, you pop over from the pit lane, you pull maybe a Russell Ingall or something, you pop into the broadcast booth for a bit and you have some commentary. The race is done. Well, put your work to use somewhere else, I suppose. As Sheafy looks to get this move back done on Ratcliffe into turn 1. Takes back the position. He'll try and cover the inside line once again. He does do that and keeps the position at that point. So that's a solid move there from Sheaf, as Ratcliffe has tucked back in behind him now. Katakazinis on this battle too. The VSL drivers may start to work together here to make their way past as well.
Still going on for 15th as well, buddy, too. What's going on at the back there?
They are not giving it up. I mean, it is as highly contested as ever. I mean, and are we surprised? I mean, I know.
Sheep station on P15, I think.
I know we got a hay shed on this track. Have we got a shearing shed too? I mean, it's it is absolutely enthralling action here at the island. Up through Siberia, up towards Hayshed, down goes Thomasina. Alan Dawson still on his heels. Brandon Levin there too. Jamie Davis, Dean Singovich all in on this as well. So as Davis looks to get a position past his former teammate of Brandon Levin and Alan Dawson ahead. He's not quite close enough to make a move just yet. Levin and Dawson going toe-to-toe at the moment. He'll be well aware that his former teammate will be hunting him down, wanting to get this move done. Yes, they're similarly coloured cars, but one's a Team SRW Motorsports car, the other is a Project 36 car of Jamie Davis. As they make their way towards the start-finish line, they begin lap 32 with 10.5 minutes to run this season. Marcus Watson looks to have this race wrapped up, but it's not over just yet because Davison is still on his heels. Sheafy, if he can make it home through this strategy, will get himself a P3 on the road and the Pro-Am win tonight. Ratcliffe, who pit on lap 17, absolutely, I don't think has any chance in hell of making it home in this race here tonight, Cowie, so he'll probably have to pit. That would then promote, Katakazinis also pit on 18, so he's really pushing the bubble, so maybe Nick Martin for P4 as contact is made down there, and it's more into team contact between Josh King and Brandon Levin. My God, it is
on
just
screen there now. That's
it's Levin. I'm glad I'm not in Mr. Sinkovich's position, because that's going to be an expensive car to fix. Punctured rear right tyre, no rear wing, no grip at all. It's basically a Formula Ford. He may need a tow. Oh my God, as he is collected on the way through by, I think that might have been Cam Hardwick or maybe Tim Schmalenberg, but this could be the third and final safety car of the night. He's pulled it up off the road. We've got 10 minutes left to run. Is it going to be called, or are they going to be kept green in this race as Katakazinis is into pit lane?
My team boss, as the race control out there, I think he'd be reluctant to pull back up with 10 minutes to go, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, oh wow, like there's lots happening. And I suppose, as I've said before, something happens slightly different in front of you, then you move, and then the cars all around you have got to react to you, and then they're reacting to everyone else, and suddenly, you've got a car on your roof, or, someone has tried to drive through you. and then trying to get a damaged car back to pit lane, and that was just in a spot where the car coming around the corner.
Nowhere to go at that point. It was.
Well, he's on a line and coming into a fast section, getting on the brakes, and there's a car where you'd normally be. So yeah, try and move in the braking zone and control it, and he had no option. I'm sure he didn't crash him deliberately, but he had no.
I don't think so. He had no choice.
Yeah, that's it.
11 has been allowed to tow back to pit lane, so we're not getting our hoped for safety car for the final 10 minutes of this race, so they're looking to keep it green the rest of the way through. Danny Davison looks to take the lead from Marcus Watson in towards Doohan Corner at turn 1, leads the way now up towards Southern Loop. He'll try and defend the inside line, but look for Watson to make a charge up towards Miller Corner. He may go for the send on the inside. We'll watch for Davison to cover that inside line. It has been the death trap tonight at Miller Corner, Cowie.
Oh, look, I mean, again, look, you see there, he tried to go around the outside after getting past and almost had pace there, had to check it, but still got a few laps left, these boys, and we do know that, both Watson and Davison, these guys are definitely pros in these machines, and, they're racing so close together and pushing each other. It's great to see.
It is. They are keeping it nice and tightly contested. Can Davison get the final win of the season? Watson knows he's already got the title, so he doesn't necessarily need to fight for the victory. There's a bit of ego in it, isn't there? Taking the last win of the season before you head into the Australian Open Wheel Nationals. He wouldn't only be representing SRW. I'm sure he'd be well, I would hope that Watson's going to represent SRW since he races for the league's team and not represent the GSRC this time, which may be the best chance SRW's ever had of winning that event. They are currently 0-3 to the GSRC at this point as Watson takes back the lead from Davison. Not much more defensive effort he could do as Ratcliffe and Fu are in pit lane. They couldn't make it any further. It appears, Cowie, the best strategy of the night was pitting under that second safety car. A misplay for those drivers that didn't.
Yeah, look, I mean, we called it at the time. I think maybe it was on the bubble for some, but, I think you had to do it. It was unlikely we were going to get another safety car call. And, as you get to that 10 minutes, it's generally, we don't want to bunch it up too much because, unfortunately, we end up losing 4 or 5 minutes behind safety car. We want to keep this, as green running as we can as a series. And, of course, I think the car wasn't in a dangerous spot. Again, that's one of those calls that race control make when it comes to determining a safety car. But wow, things have flipped up now. So now that's another contender for the open wheeler that Matt Fu was in the hunt, and now he's going to drop off.
He's still within the hunt. I mean, he's P15. He's still gaining points tonight. If we look at him compared to his other competitors, Dean Sinkovich out of this race. Matt Tessariero is still in, but he's a lap down at the moment, so he could still maintain his position. If we then think about Kevin Wakefield, he is out of this race, so arguably out of that hunt too. Mitch Noble has stayed in it. He's not gaining points on Matt Fu, but he's gaining on Wakefield and on Tessariero. Not enough to surpass Tessariero, but enough to surpass Wakefield, as Josh King has had a moment in the field. He spun it round down there at, I think that might be, is that up at turn, it's up at MG. So he's now kept that car going, kept it off the wall. And
Sam Catacasinas down in P16 saw that speculation of point shift that he was looking at earlier in the race has sort of gone away too. It goes to show that things can change in a heartbeat. Even if you're not involved in an incident, it can be a decision to go into the pits. We've got a couple of guys here that pitted a lap later. Doug Gowans has set a lap down and he's now running in P7. How things can change in the space of 20 minutes.
Jamie Davis off the road, big damage lap 1. He's back up to the top 10. Back to where he started the race. So just to stay in it and continue fighting, that's a massive effort. Rosanita up 12 positions, probably one of our drivers of the night. Same with Johnson, same with Proctor. Those guys are up double digits. Sheafy up 11 in a great strategy play as well. So all those guys have had a great race tonight and will be carrying some good momentum into the AOWN next week. out at Autodromo Internacional Algarve for Portimao for the 4th instalment of the AOWN. Looking off the back now of Marcus Watson's car to Danny Davidson, we have got 3.5 minutes left of racing action here for the MOZA Racing SFL Championship for Season 2 of 2025. We've also got 3.5 minutes left of hearing my subtle tones calling racing action in SRW for the foreseeable future. So it's going to be a very, very somber final couple of moments of this race, but it has been pure chaos, Cowie. I could not have asked for it to have been a better race to describe what the SFL Championship is like in SRW. We probably got the most cookie-cutter SFL race we could have asked for. Massive, massive incidents, big chaos, big controversy, safety cars galore at a fantastic circuit, which has thrown out the gauntlet tonight to these drivers to keep it clean.
The thing about this is too, like, even the AM class out here, they're not really AMs because we've been driving these cars for a while. So, I mean, it's not like we've got 30 hacks out on track, you know, and creating these incidents. These cars, you know, when you're racing so close together, it is so precise where some little change, you know, in the, oh, look at, there's a good condensing going on here. Great battle, but, I mean, we just see it there. It's Josh Horton slightly broke a little bit early, and suddenly Faye and Gowans were swamping on him. That's how quickly it can change. Now, these guys are good enough to avoid incidents. Some of us, you know, again, we get caught out, and sometimes you don't have a chance to save it. Sometimes you do, and you make the wrong call. That is all a part of racing in general, I suppose, but sim racing for sure. We don't have that big dollar sign at the end. Making us think twice about that dive.
So Rosanita now wants an outside run on Darren Fahey. Gets that job done on him. So Fahey just trying to control himself here for the final lap. Marcus Watson will cross the line. We will have 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. So Watson crossed the line, sorry. I think we may have 2 laps to go. Davison has had to pit. So was he on the bubble or has he not saved enough?
I told you it was. I thought it was close, mate.
Rosanita, Houghton, Cena are all in as well.
Oh, I so called that. I thought it was close. And who'd we have? Jamie Davis pit a lap later. Keep an eye on him.
Davis deliberately pit under the safety car, went to the very back of the field after the pit lane exit was closed. Now sits P5. If Marcus Watson needs to pit on the final lap of the race, all hell could break loose here. He has got 15.5 seconds back to Nick Martin. Tyler Sheep's there too. Doug Gowans. It's 20 seconds back to Jamie Davis. Is that enough time for Davis to get past him?
Gowans did it as well.
Man.
He did it a lap later than everyone else. So I think Doug can get home. I think this... Again, look.
Watson's coming in. Watson's coming in. So watch for Nick Martin. Does Martin have to come in as well? There's Doug Gowans. Is Doug Gowans going to take a miraculous Bradbury-style win once again here in the MOZA Racing SFL Championship? Martin has stayed out and kept going, so Nick Martin's going for the race win. Marcus Watson is not even in the pit box yet. Nick Martin is going to lead his first lap of the night, and it's going to be on the final lap of the race. 1 to go. Oh, my God. As Gowan's got past him, he's run out. He ran out.
Well, he might have to run it like 50% just
he might have to.
But
so would it have been better to pit, take the fuel, take the time loss, than have to run at half pace just to get the car home here?
Well, that's what Sheepy's trying to do.
Yeah.
In P2 at the moment. Jamie Davis is going to get him. There's a bunch
oh
of
my
guys
God.
there.
Oh, and there's Marcus Watson. Marcus Watson is at full pace, but he is stuck behind Jamie Davis at the moment, who can go full peg for his final lap. I think the one thing we know is that Doug Gowans...
back in 6th now.
Gowans is not fully centered either. He is fuel saving like crazy. Sheafy's also fuel saving. Davis is fuel saving. Watson's able to push on. This is going to be a crazy end to this season, a crazy end to this race. Doug Gowans, in a miraculous turn of events, is going to Bradbury his way to another victory here in the MOZA Racing Super Formula Lights Championship. Round the final corner he comes, and Doug Gowans is going to take the win at the island as Davis and Sheaf drag race to the line. It is not even separated by barely anything as Watson takes P2, Davis P3, Sheaf in P4, Davison for the top 5. Nick Martin crawls. He is pushing that Get a Grip racing car across the line, gets it in P6, Katakazinis in P7, Josh Houghton P8, Rosanita P9, and Darren Fay will make up the top 10. What a race to the end. The top at P2 was separated by 0.03 of a second, Cowie.
Here, someone was talking about the last few laps of this race being maybe a little bit somber. Well, there you go, buddy. You'll remember that race for a while now with drama right at the last minute.
That there was one of the craziest and closest finishes we have seen in a long, long while. I want to ride on board with Marcus Watson for this run to the line because this was so tight. It was so close between him and Jamie Davis. So he's got the toe off of Davis, who's got the toe off of Sheaf. Let's watch. That was how close it was when they crossed the line. Look at that. That is how tight 0.03 of a second is when they cross the line. That is absolutely insane. Absolutely remarkable.
And Dougie Gowans with the, is that the Larry Perkins a lap down?
He's pulled a Perkins. He's pulled a Larry Perkins, goes a lap down,
man.
Wins the
That's
race.
It.
That is insane.
Well, Larry had 160 odd laps to make up for that, whereas Dougie didn't quite have that many, but that is still, I'm sure that when we have a chat to Dougie, we might sort of mention for him to buy a lottery ticket because good strategy, but maybe pick his own numbers because there was good strategy there.
Yeah, quite possibly. Have a look at the provisional race results, though, as they were in the end. Doug Gowans takes the win ahead of Marcus Watson. Jamie Davis for the top 3. Tyler Sheaf, P4 as well. Davis wins the final race of the season for the Pro-Ams, and he wins that title as well. Danny Davison, top 5. Nick Martin, Sam Katakazinis, Josh Houghton, Callum Rosanita, and Darren Fay for your top 10. Thomas Cena, Shane Ratcliffe, Matt Gerard for the top 13. Greg Johnston wins the AM class. That might be Jono's first ever win. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to ask him. Cam Hardwick, Alan Dawson, Andrew Proctor, Matt Fu, Josh King, Matt Tesseriero for the top 20. As they then move back to Mitch Noble, Andrew Martin, Brandon Levin, Dean Sinkovich, Timothy Schmalenberg, Brad Anderson, Kevin Wakefield, Zach Barton, Jason Depp, and Kurt Heath at the back end of the field. We've got Jono.
I was going to say, have a look at the start-finish line now, and you'll see that Dougie Gowans is noticeably absent from the final photo.
Yeah,
pretty sure there's not enough fuel to get around.
Very likely ran out of fuel. We'll start though by having a quick chat to Mr. Johnston. Greg, is that your first ever class win in the SFLs?
I think it is.
Wow. I mean, couldn't have asked for, if you were to sum up the SFLs here in SRW, that race is probably the one you show people of what it can be. But
yeah, not the race 2 races ago.
No. You mentioned prior to the race that this is the series that probably gets you your most license points, but now it's also a series that's gotten you a class win and a top 14 finish as well. Jono, that's a cracking effort. Not only to beat the AM champion, but I mean that is so incredible. Well done. Congratulations.
Thanks. I mean, in turn 2 on the first lap, as we're going around there, someone spun, and I've gone to the right, and I thought, I'm right, I'm safe. And next minute, the back went round. I thought, great, I'm in P29. So I went back to P29 and then repaired, pitted, did what I had to do. At one stage, I was in P7 with Kev. We're both well inside the top 10. So, yeah, look, it was a great fun race. I just tried to stay out of everyone's road. Don't need any more license points. had my
I was
holiday
gonna
last
say
week.
that, Greggy. You were
Yeah.
told by Tyson before the race to be a good boy tonight. He didn't want to see your name crop
I
up.
was the first person on the radio tonight after I got cleaned up in turn 2, and I said to the other guys, I said, "Did anyone else call in anything?" No. I thought, great, Tyson's got me up first.
Well,
yeah, but it was so
I was
much
going to
fun.
say your name. You didn't want your name getting called out, mate, but it's got called out for the other reason.
Well,
buddy.
that's it. And considering the problems I had 15 minutes before the start, Cowie, with my pedals,
exactly.
I couldn't get the car out of pit lane. I had brakes locked on, clutch up, and yeah, that was just, yeah. But it was such a fun night. I mean, I love our 1 hour races. It gives you a chance to try a few things. One of the safety cars got called, and I went straight into the pits and fueled up. I had to pit right at the end because it didn't quite give me enough fuel to get to the end. But Andrew Proctor, who was next on the road behind me, also pitted the lap before me, I think, for fuel. So when I saw that he dropped down the list, I thought, okay, there's no AMs anywhere near me. I've come out on the track. I'm looking to see who's where on the leaderboard. And I thought, nope, nobody behind me. And then I saw Cam pop up just towards the end. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the drive. I tried to do everything right and kept it clean. I think I had 5 incident points. I had 1 off track and a tap in turn 2. So, yeah, I can't do much better than that, I don't think.
Well, Greg, it was an incredible race for you. A little stat that I've just noticed here is that everyone who was involved in that incident on lap 1 in some form or fashion, barring Marcus Watson because he wasn't involved, ended up finishing in either a class-winning position or on the class podium.
That's pretty cool.
So Doug, so Doug Gowans obviously was involved. He won the race. Jamie Davis was involved. He won for the Pro-Ams and finished on the overall podium. And then, yeah, yourself won your class and you were involved in that incident. I mean, that is extraordinary how that can play out.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool. I mean, I got damage and I thought, do I fix it or not? And I'm looking thinking the steering wheel's not right into the pits. So I had to take a fast repair right at the start. So I thought, I've just got to keep it clean and get home. So, yeah, pretty happy with that.
Mate, an incredible effort for your first class win here in the MOZA Racing Super Formula Lights Championship. Let us know who helps get you out on track. Jono, anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well? For myself, Cowie, and the rest of the league. Congrats on this win.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, look, we've got the red energy written all over the side of the car. And our naming, I suppose our naming logos on the car is the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia. Excuse me. Having been through prostate cancer, you know, every race I do is for the PCFA. So it's already, to get a win is always really good.
Well, Greg, enjoy the celebrations, enjoy the feeling of this win. Hopefully it's not your last, and yeah, enjoy the break. Best of luck next season. We look forward to seeing how you go.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks, Jono. Next up, we have our P3 on the road here this evening and P1 for the Pro-Ams. Your Pro-Am champion of Season 2 2025, Mr. Jamie Davis. Mr. Davis, congratulations. Not only P3 on the road tonight, not only Pro-Am win, but you pretty much won the championship by lap 9 of this race when Jason Depp had pulled out. So it was pretty much make it to the end and you were going to be the champion. Mate, what a finish to that race. 0.036 of a second separated you and Marcus Watson in an all-time finish after an all-time race. When you were off the road lap 1, turn 2, did you have any thoughts that possibly you can make it back up to the podium by the time the checkered flag was flown?
Nah, I did not think that at all, Hamish.
Well, talk us through it, because we saw you come in under the safety car, which then would have forced you to the very back of the field with the closed pit exit. Did you have an inkling at that point that, you might need an extra lap here, and you just decided, well, let's go for it. I've already got myself, Jason's out. The pressure's off for the title. Let's try and see if we can get a race win, perhaps.
Yeah, after that last stop, I just went straight into fuel conservation mode. He just sat behind the pack, feathering the throttle, clutching in a couple of times, it wasn't until those last maybe 5 laps or 4 laps to go is when I pretty much was trying to drive it as quick as I could and managed to save enough by then.
Now,
Well, we did see you sort of come out of the pack, when the safety car was still going around, put you right to the back. So she was definitely the right call, man. And, again, rolling the dice, sometimes it works really well.
Yeah, it's motor racing, so if you roll enough dice, eventually it's got to land on 7.
well, I mean, this is a great way to end your season. Jamie, obviously, you win the title for yourself, you win the class race this evening, and you get on the overall podium as well. So it's been a cracking effort. We've got a couple of boys to have a chat to. So let us know who helps get you out on track for Project 36. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well? For myself, Cowie, and the rest of the league, Jamie, congratulations on your class win, your overall podium, and your championship win here this evening at Phillip Island.
Thank you much, fellas. I'd like to thank CC Forged, Cataclysm Computers, Simrigs.com, Shopworks, all the boys at Project 36. They've been massive and really just full of good things. And really happy here. So cheers to all the boys there. All the competitors running around, make it enjoyable, race control that allow us and make the tough decisions, because I know I wouldn't like to do that. And you boys up in the commentary box, thank you very much. And shame to see you go, Hamish, but it's been great.
Thank you, Jamie. Best of luck next week in the AAWN out at Portimao. I'll be watching from the sidelines, hoping to see you do well there. But thanks for coming up and chat to us, mate. Best of luck, as I said, and we'll see how you go next season.
Thank you very much. Hello to Megan and Ivy, me 2 girls at home.
No worries, mate. Thank you. Next up, we will be having a chat to Nick Martin's joined the green room, but he unfortunately, Cowie, did not finish on the overall podium, so he misses out on the chat here tonight. So we'll have a chat to we got 2 champions there. We'll have a chat to Mr. Cam Hardwick as the AM champion. That was already decided last week, so we'll drag him in for a quick chat. Cam, congratulations, mate. Tonight, obviously, you were the champion-elect coming into it. You then solidified that by finishing the race tonight as well. Congratulations. Top effort this season. Not that I was here to see the majority of it, but you had a fairly decent race tonight, but there was some warfare out there, wasn't there?
Yeah, not sure about decent. I got taken out early, then I got screwed with the safety car, so yeah, I was lucky to finish second, so I'll take it.
Still up 4, though, into P15 as well, though. So, you managed to at least get a net gain on the road tonight. When you're coming into a race like this where you've already got the title in hand, what's the mentality like? Because obviously some of the pressure's off you at that point, and, you're just able to kind of push on. So how does that change your mentality, knowing that you already had the title? It was more or less, let's go out there and try and push on and see what we can get?
I just wanted to come out and participate tonight, being the last round. I wasn't too stressed on the result, knowing I'd already locked away the championship, so just wanted to come out and just cruise around and do my thing. So, yeah, happy with how it ended, I guess.
Right in the thick of it there in a bit, buddy. A few incidents going on all around you. Were you expecting that level of chaos tonight?
It's Phillip Island. It's always going to happen. It's a drafting track and people get a bit carried away.
Well, Cam, looking towards next week for the AAWN at Portimao, how are you feeling going into that race? You feeling your pace and your racecraft and everything? Do you feel it can come together to get you a decent result out in Portugal next week?
Nah, not confident, honestly. Not really sure what the track is. Never raced there before. Don't even know if I own it, to be fair. Yeah, not confident. But anyway, we'll have a crack.
The best way I can describe it is if you've raced at Navarra before, it's very similar to Navarra.
Yeah, righto. Maybe I'll see if I can find some time to do some practice during the week or over the weekend and see how we go. I guess we'll just show up and try and stay out of trouble and get some points for the team, I suppose.
It's probably the best course of action for the AWM. We know that drivers who normally stay out of trouble do quite well in that event. But Cam, Cam, thanks so much for going over chat to us tonight. Congrats on your top 15 and your P2 in class and your championship this season. Let us know who helps get you out on track from Velocity Sim Labs. Anyone you want to give a shout out to as well. Myself, Cowie, and the rest of the league. Congratulations on all your success this season.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Much appreciated. I'm glad that it ended the way it did. Just got to thank the whole Velocity Sim Labs team. Dylan, Shane, Sam, Marty, Zach, Lewis. Just got to thank them for all their help through the whole season with all practice and just pushing me to be as hard as I can. Got to thank Hikoki Power Tools. They're our major sponsor, so if you need any tools, go and see them. And Barber Republic in Sydney, if you need a haircut, go and see them and give the team a shout out and they'll look out for you. Also, got to thank my beautiful girlfriend. It's her birthday today, so very kind of her to let me race on her birthday. So happy birthday to her. And thank everyone behind the scenes and running the show. So cheers. Don't know what the go is for next season. This could be championship and out, so we'll see how we go.
Okay, did you tell her that you had this season, the championship already wrapped up before tonight's race?
Yeah, she knew, but
I just thought I'd check.
She knew, but she told me to come and race and just finish it off. So she's
awesome.
She's good like that. She lets me spend a lot of time on here instead of spending time with her. So good on her.
Well, at least I didn't get you in trouble with that question, buddy. So.
Nah, you're all good. She's a really, really understanding partner. So, actually, bride to be. We're getting married next year, so looking forward to that.
Oh, Cam, congratulations on that front. Congratulations on your title as well. Wherever you end up racing next season, best of luck, and look forward to seeing you out on track wherever that may be.
Yeah, too easy, and thanks for all your services, Hamish. I hear you're finishing up, so hopefully we'll see you around somewhere.
No worries, Cam. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
See you, boys.
See ya. Next up, we will have a chat to P2 on the road this evening and the pro champion. I'm deliberately leaving Doug Gowans to last, just to let him stew in that absolutely glorious win he's just taken for himself. Of Team SRW Motorsports, it is Marcus Watson. Marcus, we've only been able to have a chat one time prior to now. It was the last time we were at this track only 12 weeks ago for the AWN. And you joined this series at the start of this season. I saw your name on the list, and I thought, yeah, he's probably going to win it, isn't he? And you won it last week with a round to go. I mean, it's one of the most dominant performances we've ever seen in this series. And then you went out there tonight, had a cracking race with Danny Davidson. It became a little bit of a strategy battle for some drivers, and you just missed out on the win in the end. Are you aware of the gap that was between you and Jamie Davis across the line?
Yeah. First of all, thanks guys for all your kind words. It was a awesome season, and I'm very glad I ended up making the jump over to race this championship. I've had an awesome time the last couple months, and I'm really looking forward to continuing racing the SRW championships. And I was aware of the gap with Jamie, but I wasn't aware of the gap with any of the other guys. I didn't realize they were that close. I thought they were lap cars because I was so focused on just trying to get Jamie because I wanted the podium so bad, and then I went across the line and saw how close we were to everyone else, and then I got second, so I had to go back on the replay and actually have a look at what happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, 0.036 was the gap, Cowie. I think it's probably the closest finish we've ever seen in this series, at least.
When did the fuel situation rear its ugly head for you? Because we could see Jamie sort of. Did you think when you saw a couple of guys come out and get in the safety car, was that it, or it was still debatable until you got to the end?
I definitely thought about doing what they did and petting under the second lap of the safety car, I think it was, because I knew that would work, but I thought too much of the track position, and I always think that track position is better, and I'm just too worried about being at the back and maybe being too aggressive or putting myself in the wrong spot. It's just a higher chance of getting taken out, really, so I just didn't want to risk that. So I stayed out, and I had a feeling that there might be a chance that I could save, so off the start of the safety car I'd try to build a second gap, which I did, and try and fuel save a little bit, but after a few laps I realized that my fuel saving was only making me need a put more fuel in the car. So I just put my foot down and committed and knew that I needed to pit and was watching the gap to Jamie, but it was quite hard. I wanted to pit a little bit earlier throughout that last stint, but I just would have got caught in too much traffic, and again I was just too worried about getting taken out, so I just wanted the clean air, and I could trust Danny wasn't really going to do anything stupid, so yeah, I just pushed out front as hard as I could and committed to the late pit stop.
Well, Marcus, a complete season from you, obviously, to win the championship in such dominant fashion, and then to come into tonight as already the champion, and you know, it kind of takes a load off you at that point. We have had confirmation in the chat that you will be anyway, but I kind of assumed you very likely would be. It would be quite odd if you weren't representing SRW next week at the AWN, seeing as you race for the league's team, seeing as you are the defending champion as part of the GSRC. But no, I mean a cracking season from you, a complete season as well from what I saw, and it's a top level effort. So yeah, fantastic stuff, mate. And you know, congratulations on that title. Let us know who helps get you and Team SRW Motorsports out on track. Anyone you want to give a shout out to as well. For myself, Cowie, I'm sure Sinker as well, and the rest of the league. Congratulations on your championship win, P2 tonight, and your locked in spot of the Australian Open Wheel Nationals next week at Portimao.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Of course, I just want to thank my family, first of all, especially my dad. He pushes me a lot, but he helps me calm down when I need to, and he pushes me when I need to be pushed, and he's a big part of why I'm as fast as I am and how I race. I feel like it comes down to him a lot of the time. But my whole family and the whole SRW team, I mean, I've only been with them for the past, well, 2 races now. But even just being a part of the team and having the livery on it's given me a big confidence boost, and it's a good feeling, good community to be a part of, and all the sponsors are part of the SRW team and SRW league. I wish I knew them off the top of my head, but thank you guys all so much for making this happen. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to coming back next season with the number 1 on the car, hopefully, and try and win multiple championships in a row. I mean, that's the goal. But right now the focus, like you said, is to go to Portimao next week and try and defend the Open Wheel National title. And it's going to be tricky. There's a lot of competition, a lot of new names, but I feel like we can get it done and hopefully get SRW their first win.
Well, I think with the right amount of glazing and the fact that they normally reserve number 1 for the Supercars champion, seeing as Blake Warboys is yet to take the number 1 for himself over the last 2 seasons, you may have a shout of convincing Sinker to let you have it as one of his drivers and his new golden toy that he managed to bring into the team. But mate, yeah, solid effort. Congratulations. Best of luck next season. Best of luck next week at Portimao. I look forward to seeing how you go from the sidelines, and yeah, we'll see if you can win SRW their first AOWN. But there may be conversations of, well, they had to pick up the champion of the GSRC just so they could win it for themselves. But we'll see how you go, and if you can at least survive Portimao next week before you can win it again.
To me, it doesn't matter what they say at the end of the day. I'm gonna try and win this race for SRW. I'm repping SRW from here on, and yeah, I won it for GSRC last time, but we're winning it for SRW this time. We're going to win it again for SRW after that. And we'll just keep pushing. So thank you guys for the broadcast. Thanks to all the other broadcasters as well. You guys put on an amazing stream. And thanks to all the drivers who compete in this championship. It's been an awesome championship racing against everyone.
No worries, Watto. Thanks so much. Best of luck, and well, we'll see if we chat to you soon.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, the Steve Bradbury of SRW continues to prove himself to be so, as Doug Gowans has taken race victory here tonight at Phillip Island. Dougie, you are just Steve Bradbury at this point, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
I'm not. No, you're not. You're not. I think back to, I think it was Donington Park last season. You managed to weasel your way to a race win, and then you've done it again tonight. But solid strategy play. You rolled the dice, pitted under that safety car on lap 23, got the fuel in the car, pushed on, and took yourself another win, mate. That is a cracking effort from you.
I am still trying to work out how the hell that even happened. I had the disconnect during the race and I had to hop back in. So I was there for a lap down. Thankfully, on my side of the things, safety car came out. I got my lap back. I was at the end of the field and, looking at my fuel, it said I still needed 2 litres worth of fuel to finish the race. So I'm coming last. Why not fill up and still be coming last? That's exactly what I did. And it just worked out. I'm racing and I crossed the line and it said, you won the race. And I'm like, what? Huh? How? So it's going to be a head scratcher for a while.
I said on the broadcast, Dougie, that you need to go out and buy a lotto ticket because that was pretty arsey. But
absolutely,
you've got to. But there was enough skill in it, man, that you got to pick your own numbers.
You do. And that the hard thing too was actually trying to come back through the field because they're not going to let you come by. They don't care who you are or how fast you are. They're fighting for their own positions. So getting in a battle with some of those guys, it's like holy moly. This is dicey. But well done to them. It was all nice and clean. We had no incidents, and I was able to come back through the field and. Then I saw that I was catching, the front guys, pretty well hand over fist, and I knew that they were probably starting to try and fuel save. And I just got there. But the last half of the front straight, I had to clutch in to cross the line. I was out of fuel myself, so it was that tight.
Well, Dougie, I mean, the fact that you pushed on and kept battling your way to the very end is, I mean, it's an extraordinary effort to take a race win in that as well. Of course, we head out to Portimao next week, one of my favourite circuits for open wheel racing, for the Australian Open Wheel Nationals. Do you reckon you can Perkins or Bradbury your way to the front of the field then, or do you think it's just going to be survive and stay out of trouble?
It's just survive. I mean, there's a lot of good guys over at GSRC, and we have some good guys here as well. Our fast guys versus their fast guys. I mean, I'm happy with a top 10 in that type of field. I mean, I say it often, but I don't have the pace or the skill of some of these young fellas. I just can't do it. But I'm there or thereabouts and I hang around. So this is what happens. I pick up the odd win here and there. So you got to be in it to win it.
Exactly right. You do. But I mean, Dougie, what a way for you to end your season, a race win on the board and take some momentum with yourself out to Portugal next week. Let us know who helps you get out on track. Anyone you want to give a shout out to, and for myself, Cowie, and the rest of the league, congratulations on your race win here at Phillip Island this evening in round 9 of season 2 of 2025 of the MOZA Racing Super Formula Lights Championship.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. Look, I just want to congratulate all the championship winners, Cam Hardwick, Jamie Davis, and Marcus Watson. They've done a fantastic job throughout the season. I don't have anyone to shout out to. I run solo now, which I'm enjoying. But I just want to thank all the guys and girls in the field, and love racing with them. I want to thank you guys for commentating throughout the season, and also Race Control. They do a good job in a hard situation. And for you, Hamish, we're going to miss you, buddy. I just wish you the best of luck with everything that you got going forwards, and we'll catch up with you around the traps now and then, eh? Yeah, for sure, Dougie. For sure. I'm pretty excited to, it's a new, a new time in my broadcasting life, new opportunities for me, my, putting focus into my league, my relationship, and my other broadcasting commitments is one thing I wanted to focus on, but it was also just to get myself a change of scenery because, as I said to Sinker yesterday on the Supercars broadcast, sometimes getting comfortable can then put you backwards a little bit. So I just want to try and keep furthering myself and keep focusing up on what I can broadcast and what else I can do as well. I mean, I have a great time broadcasting Porsche Cups on a Monday. I get to do sports car stuff on a Thursday and a Friday in the morning. I still get to do supercars on Saturdays, and I even get to do some oval stuff now on Friday night. So, that's going to be, there you go.
Nice and good for me. I don't run in direct competition with SRW at the moment. So, if for whatever reason anyone wanted to still, watch my broadcasts and then also watch SRW too, well, you
For
can fill
sure.
your whole week. You can fill your whole week with the stuff that I broadcast, and then also what SLW broadcasts as well. So,
Absolutely.
so yeah, so it's good.
And you know what I enjoyed tonight? Being interviewed by Cowie again. Yeah, I mean, when I first started racing at SRW, Cowie was one of the first guys who interviewed me, and I remember being so nervous, Cowie. But all these years later, mate, it's like putting on an old sock, buddy.
Well, you're making a habit of it coming out of the woodwork, and you pulled out a Larry Perkins tonight, buddy. So that's another sort of feather in your cap, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll take it, mate. I'll take it. Anyway, I'll let you guys go. Thanks again very much, and yeah, I will catch up with you.
No worries, Dougie. Thanks so much. Best of luck at Portimao next week for the AWN.
Cheers, guys. See yous.
See ya. Well, Cowie, if you look back only around about 2 and a bit years ago now, we ended our first ended our first broadcasts of at the time was the TCRs and F3 double feature on a Wednesday night. The first race we called was TCRs at Monza, and I can't remember for the life of me what the first F3 race was on that same night, but it was a long time ago. I really appreciate you giving up your last race this season to allow me to end my time with SRW as a full circle moment, as the first series I broadcasted with the first commentator I commentated with, at such an iconic track like Phillip Island. So it's been an absolute pleasure, not only to call so many races with you, but with Sinker as well for the supercars, with everyone who joined me for the IMSA and the GTD series of Steph Piccoli, Ryan Price, Connor Nixon, and Nathan Howard.
Walked around with a few of us.
I've had quite a few. I've had quite a few in the comms box with me, I'll be honest. But no, I mean, big shout out to everyone who's joined me in the booth here in SRW. It's been a fantastic 2 and a bit years to be here, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this next chapter, not only for myself but for SRW as well, to give the opportunity to someone else to step into the booth, put their own little flavour on it, and see what they can bring to the table. So it's been a long growing period for me. It'll be a long growing period for whoever steps into that booth in my place. But it's been incredible.
All the best for your future, man. I mean, look, you've been doing this a while now. You're almost an old hat now, so. We work as journeymen in our fields to try and get to the point where we are, desirable and people want us. So good luck out there, buddy. If they're chasing you, man, make a go of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But yeah, so a big thank you though to everyone in SRW, from the admin to the RC to everyone who's been in the broadcast, not just with me, but alongside me as well. Guys like the fellow producers like Peter Gretton, Nathan Howard, James Parford, of course, and then all the co-commentators who've been with us as well. It's been absolutely spectacular. As I said yesterday, I'll say it again now. If for whatever reason you were only here supporting SRW to support my broadcasts, I implore you to stay on board and continue to support SRW. They've got so much racing for you, so much top-level racing as well, and it's these drivers deserve to have their races showcased, so continue to support them. If you want to follow me and continue supporting me as well, I am taking the liberty to put a link to my broadcasting channel in the chat, Infinity Broadcasting. You can come and watch my broadcasts. None of them run head-to-head with SRW at the moment, so you can fill your week with my stuff and SRW stuff as well, so it works out as a best-of-both-worlds scenario. I've got Porsche Cup Racing over there, ARCA Racing, Supercars as well. So it's going to be a good time for me. It's going to be a good time for SRW with the Supercars, with SFLs and my GR86s too. It's been absolutely spectacular. So I appreciate everyone's time, appreciate everyone watching along with us as well. Big thank you to Cowie for joining me here tonight, and everyone who's ever been involved with it too. Massive shout out to all the series sponsors, of course, the title sponsors, Warren Brown Tools, for their continued support of the Tuesday night V8 Supercars series and the Sunday night V8 Supercars Championship as well. To MOZA Racing for coming on board and supporting the Super Formula Lights Championship in 2025, as well as the Australian Open Wheel Nationals, which will be racing next week at Autodromo Internacional Algarve out at Portimao for the 4th instalment of that race. A big thank you to all the other series sponsors, Shunt Scenery, Groom Industries, home of the VA Coffee Table, which can be found on Prime Video's Top Gear Australia during the news, interviews and other studio segments. And the Phoenix Driver Development. You can message PDD on Facebook or Laz and Rehan Leonage on Discord. Get you guys set up with some supercars setups or some supercars training sessions as well. They specialise in the supercars and do everything from the 2009 Ford Falcon all the way up to the Gen 3 supercars of the Mustang and the Camaro as well. You can find direct links to all of our series sponsors in the video description of all of our live streams here on SRW down below. Big thank you from me, big thank you from Cowie. Appreciate your time, appreciate you taking time out of your lives to join us here once again. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the bell icon too. We'd love to get to 1,500 subscribers by the end of the season. It'd be absolutely spectacular if you could help us get to there. But until next time, appreciate everyone's time. Appreciate you being here with us once again. I've been Hamish Munro with Andrew Cowan alongside. Stay safe, drive hard. Until I see you next time, bye for now.
This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanak and James